Hey guys, I'm Chewy Mew and welcome to my channel, but more specifically, welcome back to another Chewy Mew review. Sorry, I keep yawning. I woke up not too long ago. I just had breakfast and now I'm just yawning. I'm still tired. Didn't sleep well last night. But in the past review, I took a look at the Spider-Man Classics Spider-Man figure, which, it's very basic, very simple. I got it on eBay for like maybe $12, $13. I still absolutely love this figure, despite it being, very vanilla Spider-Man. Nothing crazy. It's just a very simple, not much articulation figure, but I still love this figure because what it did to like the superhero, what it did to like figures in general. There's maybe been superposable figures before these, but this is like, a truly superposable figure. This revolutionized what figures are for pretty much the rest of, like, up until present day, where if a Marvel Legends figure doesn't have this articulation, it's bad, Very simple, but still very beautiful. I love this figure for what it did, how it revolutionized figures, for that matter. And I also got, I think 4 other figures. I've already reviewed the Toxin. I've reviewed this guy. I'm still waiting for 2 more in the mail. And I'm going to review another one today. So we're going to go from reviewing Spider-Man. So I just reviewed the Spider-Man Classics Spider-Man, and now we're going to review the Spider-Man Classics Man-Spider. Which, look at this thing. This thing is freaking sick. It's huge. I'm going to move my camera back. Oops, sorry about the bumpiness. Have it there. That's pretty good right there. So yeah, Man-Spider. Let's compare him to Spider-Man really quick. Let's get out Spider-Man, and yeah, look at that crazy height difference. That's insane. So as a kid, my friend had this one as a kid. So as I've said many times before, my friend and I, we would bring our Spider-Man toys to my backyard. Most times it was my backyard because I had a trampoline. There was like a lot of stuff in my backyard that there was like more places to play. Like I had a tree fort. There was this big tree we could climb into, my trampoline, a bunch of other stuff like that. His backyard. So the backyards are huge. They're an acre huge, like an acre size. They're like massive. Where I used to live, it was, kind of like in the country, like, like there were some farms there were farms kind of close, but yeah, so we would have big backyards and there would be like a lot of different places to play. We usually play at my house because there were just more, more areas to play. So it wouldn't just be like, in the dirt. And he had this figure. He would bring it out to play too. And he had this figure. He got it at a yard sale. So we actually, like I said before, I got some figures. I got a lot of figures from various yard sales we went to. He and his grandma, because he lived with his grandma, they along with me and my mom would go to yard sales and stuff. He picked up this one, and he actually got, I think he got some other figures that I wanted to get, but he got this one, and we had no idea what this was from. Like, we had no idea what this was. We thought it was like this is like some kind of monster wearing Spider-Man's costume. We didn't know what this was. So eventually watched one of the episodes of the 90s cartoon where it shows off this character. So then we realized, oh hey, it's Peter Parker. But then we didn't like that, so we just played with it as if it was like Doppelganger or some kind of like, or like as if it was Alistair Smythe. Just 'cause, I don't know, that's just what we did. But yeah, either way, this is a very awesome looking figure. Look at that crazy face. You can see all the eyes here. You've got 8 eyes. You got 4 on the back, 2 here, and then 2 on the front. You can see how you still have a Peter Parker's normal eye. The face is huge, though, which, like, he's still morphing into the spider. Got all this, like, hair. You got these huge, fangs, I guess they would be. Fangs, like, these massive-looking fangs, the little, like, things there. Still can see his teeth in there, and even despite he's turning into a crazy spider thing, he still has white teeth. That looks kind of like if you look at it from some angles, it looks kind of like a mustache, kind of like Mario's mustache. I never really knew what these things were. They look kind of like, like a little bit like ears. I never knew what these were. He has a very, very good ball joint in the head. He has this weird, looks like a necklace kind of thing where you're supposed to, so if it was just stuck in place, you have to kind of like move the thing around in order to get him in certain poses so it doesn't It doesn't block it. And also, that's good that they give it so you don't just see like this big ball joint underneath it. Look at that spider logo. Very, very awesome looking spider logo. Yeah, Peter's turning into a massive spider, but the spider logo is perfectly intact. And if we compare that to the Spider-Man Classics figure, I think these were supposed to be like, these are supposed to be like the same character, I think. The spider logo looks completely different, but I like that it has its own original spider. To me, it looks a little bit kind of like, I think that would look like a pretty cool black suit Spider-Man logo. On the back, the spider, I think it's so faded in, or it's maybe it is that color for real, but it like a crazy dark, like a very dark maroon kind of color. So is a lot of the suit. You have a lot of shading on this. Kind of reminds me of the Sinister Six box set Spider-Man, where you have some spots that are light colored, then you have a lot of other spots that are like this, like you have a lot of like black and burgundy wash over top. The paint apps on this guy are just, this is awesome. You know, like the huge pectorals too. You got all the muscles here, the six-pack. I like how it's kind of like curved a bit. It's kind of like a little bit like a pre-posed statue kind of thing. To me, this is figures like this where it's a pre-posed statue. Yeah, I get what they were going for. This wasn't meant to be, you know, a superposable figure. This is meant to be like, you know, give you some posability that you can like, you know, do some stuff. But for the most part, this is just, it's meant to be, you know, just like a display thing. I bet there is some kind of cool ways you could pose him using this leg. Like, you could probably get him to stand up like that. That looks pretty good. He did come with a display base. Like, look like, kind of like a swamp thing. I didn't have that because I bought the figure loose. Also didn't get the comic book. Which, you know, I'm kind of fine with that. Because, honestly, I probably would never read the comic book. The display base is really cool, too. But, I'm fine without it. Ooh, I almost dropped him on the camera. You can see he's got some more of these, like some more pieces of his costume. I think that's really cool how that you can see like there's chunks stuck on like the meatier parts of him. You can see he's got like these, I guess they're supposed to be like Peter's, these four fingers, and they're like fusing together like that, and they're getting really long. This one's already turned into a claw. You can see some more parts of the red where the claws just broke through the suit. And the other claw, it's kind of similar. Except I liked that they didn't just, you know, redo the same arm. Like, the sculpting here is kind of very similar, but then you get, like, you know, they're different sizes. You get more glove on this one, less on here. And then this one, which that's great attention to detail. How he has these two fingers. I really had to think what I was saying there. I kept saying figures. You got these four here, and they're kind of like they're starting to fuse together. And they're bigger than these. Like, these two are big. This guy's too big for the camera. These two fingers are pretty big still. Come on, focus. Camera. There's also some paint wearing off here and there. I'm probably going to, like, maybe take some paint and touch that up. But you can see these two fingers. Like, these fingers, for the most part, look a little more human, a little more flesh-colored. And that's why the rips on the gloves aren't as huge as the one on this hand. On the next set of arms, like, these arms have a lot of posability there. Well, not too much, but they can move more. These two only can go up and down. And this one kind of gets stuck to this arm. I don't want to move that too much. I don't want to, like, break the arm off or something. These two, Peter's already been screwed. These are already completely spiders. Completely spider arms. Like, the texturing on this guy, you feel it, and it feels really, really cool. That's really, really good texturing. Like, the torso here, it does feel smooth, but you can feel a little bit of dents close to these. Like, you can feel like some, like, you know, scratchiness. Like, you can see, like, the way the back line, the line for the back is a lot bigger. Most times it's not that, like, sticking out. Like, his spine is shrinking or something. These arms down here, it keeps getting, so many arms, it keeps getting tangled up. You know, if you had this many arms and they were this long, you'd probably tangle them up too. Like, you can see the veins coming out of here. I like that the top arms look a little bit more like an actual human arm. Like, you still have, like, these are still fingers, because I guess they're transforming, and these ones just grow out of Peter's side. You can see they've got some, like, some red veins here. On the other side, you got some, too. These kind of look like a little pinkish, like a lavender? No, lavender's purple, like a kind of like a purpley, maybe scarlet kind of colored. Same on the other arm. I like that for all the arms, they didn't just reuse the same mold and then flip them over. Like, even these two, they're not identical either. I'm glad that they didn't just, you know, make you know, one arm and then flip it. Like, what I mean is, like, this figure, like this Spider-Man, they basically just took this left arm and then just flipped all the stuff over and made it a right arm. You know, like the same with these. They just, the right leg and left leg are identical. But then with this guy, all of the 8 limbs, none of them are identical to each other. They're all unique in some way. Also, like, did they give this one the big, kind of like spread, so you can have him put down like that. You can put him, so you can put him down like that. The only thing is, the one thing I wish it had is they could have given him ankle movement, like even the arms, if they could rotate them on the elbow or rotate them here. That's kind of just, I guess, when they injected the plastic there. I really wish you could pose that though, but unfortunately you can't. Also, I noticed this, that if you look here, like you see the color of the pelvis area, it's not the same color as the legs. There's also like a slight crack right there. I'm probably gonna put some super glue and squeeze that back together. This figure, definitely, someone played with this figure because you got some loose joints here and there, a little bit of paint chipping, but, that, to me, that's kind of cool, buying a figure and it not being, in mint condition, having, like, a little bit of wear and tear here and there to know, like, someone had fun with this. Like, some kid played with this, so, this figure still has, like, memories poured into it, probably. I like that they make this little purple. To me, it looks kind of cool. Like, it's more of like a, focus. Come on, camera. Why does it focus on my fingers but not on the figure? Bro. Okay, I'll just show this leg instead. This one focuses. Got a peg hole here. Also, I noticed this figure doesn't have a date on it anywhere. Most times the figures have dates, but this one doesn't. Peter's feet, he completely lost his toes and his feet. His feet are just the spider things. You can see, like, it's got plastic, but I guess they fused the plastic together. I really wish they would have given you, like a swivel there or something. I think they could have done that. I mean, they fused them together. They probably could have given you a swivel, which, giving you a swivel in most of these joints wouldn't do much. If you don't have a bend in the oval, swivels wouldn't really do you much anyway. You can see he's got, like, looks like a little, like, pimple kind of thing right there. There's a little bit green right there too. Don't think that's there on purpose. You can see how his suit's ripping here too. Kind of like having, like, a Hulk transformation. Instead of Hulk, it's Spider-Man. Oh, that's supposed to be the hair coming out. That's like the hair starting to break through. Like, if they made a sequel to this figure, you would see the hair popping out of there. Also, you can see, like, the little bumps the spider has. I don't know what these are called, but these, like, little bumps the spider has. You also have them on the same arm. I didn't notice that before, but that's still really, really cool that all the detail they put into this. They didn't just, slap some paint on a figure. Like, that you can, so much, like, detail to this that's just awesome. All these bumps, all the hair starting to form on the arms. Like, these are just, like they're skinless arms, and you're starting to see the veins pop out, and you're seeing the hair begin to grow on them. Whereas these two arms, they've already taken Peter to Pound Town. Like, these two arms are still kind of, forming. These ones being the biggest arms kind of makes sense why. The huge claws there. You can see some more, look kind of like straps almost of his boots right there. I like that this one, he still has, like, the blue part of his boot, or blue part of his suit, and then you have the what's that called? You still have the red part too. Some more paint chipping off there. But, and then the other one, you don't have any blue left. All the blue's gone. I just think this figure is absolutely awesome, Not only is, like, the sculpting, attention to detail, the paint, everything on this is amazing. All the, like, the missing paint, the loose joints, that's all because, someone played with it before. But, absolutely phenomenal looking figure. You could say this figure is spectacular. And, like, take this Spider-Man. The color doesn't look the same, but I kind of feel like if, stand up there, like, if this figure, like, if Spider-Man were to, like, turn into this guy, these bodies look like they could totally work together, like they look like they go together in a way. Well, they don't, you know what I mean, like, it looks like this is, like, the same character, I guess, is what I mean. I think that's what they meant to go for here. Or maybe not, I don't know. But let's go over his articulation, which the articulation is pretty lackluster, but everything else makes up for it. You have a very good ball joint in the head, a lot of motion. He can look up pretty much all the way, look down all the way. You You can tilt it left and right, rotate it all the way around. Like, very good articulation. The only thing is this thing here is it's kind of funky, but I guess they put this here so you can move the neck and you don't see the huge ball joint underneath. You can see the ball joint there. I guess they did that so it's not obvious. You can rotate the arms all the way around. Can't really rotate them all the way around. They kind of get stuck to the arm, but you can if you're crazy. They can move up, not all the way, but they can move up still pretty high. These arms here in the middle, they could rotate all the way, but they get stuck to the other arms. They move still pretty good. Same on the other arm. This one has a lot more range of motion because the way the arms are positioned. The bottom arms, also, it's kind of funny. They give the middle arms, they give the top arms this movement. They don't give it to the middle, but they give it to the bottom ones. We can move that up pretty good. It rotates. It would rotate all the way around, but it gets stuck to the arm, which, I mean, if you're a spider that used to be a human, I don't think you'd be able to move your joints that good either, you know? The legs kick up. They go far pretty good, except the foot's bent, so it doesn't really help you much. They go back all the way, and they go back all the way too. So you can have him sitting like this. Can't do that with most figures, but if you're a human that's turning into a spider, you can totally do that. But yeah, so it's figures like these that you don't really have. You have very lackluster posability, but just like the pre-sculpted, even if this was like, a completely pre-sculpted thing that you couldn't move any joints, like it was kind of like a diorama thing, I mean, maybe then I would dislike it, but having the little posability that it has, I think that's amazing still. It's very, very good looking figure. As I always really wanted to get this one as a kid, but I could never find it at yard sales. And the time I did see it, my damn friend got it before I could. But I'm really glad I was able to find it on eBay. I got really lucky buying these figures because I managed to find people selling them really cheap. Like this one, I bought it for I think $34, $35. That's still kind of a lot for a figure that was sold in stores for $8. But to me, that's still, I still got it. Most people sell for $40, $50 and $20 shipping. But I'm really glad I got it cheap. And so, yeah, that's going to be all for this video. If you like the figure, leave a like. If you like the review, leave a like. Let me know what you think about this figure. If you want to see more videos like this, check the link in the description. There's a playlist that'll take you to all of my figure reviews I've done. There's a lot of good reviews there. Some of the reviews are kind of meh, but a lot of them I think are really good. It's a lot of cool figures I look at. Pretty big collection, and I think all of them, pretty much most figures in my collection have good merit. So, check out the playlist if you want to see more more awesome figure reviews. And with how amazing this figure is, how spectacular this figure is, how superior this figure is, he doesn't need why. A creature like this wouldn't even say why. Bye, guys.